Well, thank you for doing this. I, appreciate the time, and also just, it's nice to talk to someone who's as good at their job as you are. That's, you know, it's a nice little bonus. No, it's true, and like granted, there's more than one thing you were in this year, but most years there's a little bit of a gap, and it's sort of an event. It's like, oh, something caught your eye. So I'm just curious, like what does that? Because you have the ability to be picky. You have the gold statue to prove it. What what comes across your desk that goes like, this is worth leaving the house?
Well, that's a good question. What's worth leaving the house? First of all, it's a great it's a great, what's the word, gift to be able to choose being an actor. We know that I don't know if it's less than 10% of the actors can really make earn a living out of this. So, and my family has been acting since ages. Like the grandparents of my grandparents, I mean the parents of my grandparents were actors. It comes from there. So I've seen everything. So I guess today I'm the age of 52 and with two children, it really needs to be something that is worth the time to do it for different reasons, not just because I want to do it or it's fun doing it, because I don't want to stay too much away of my children.
Yeah.
But that being said, you have to work, you have to earn your money, and you have to learn your craft, and you learn by practicing, which is something that I do every year. I go to my acting school. I go to learn at least a month or 2 months with what it's been my acting school since I started when I was 18, sorry. The same master coach, friend of mine now. I go there and I put myself in the acting classes with different people coming from different places and different ages. It can be me and a 65-year-old and an 18-year-old, and we play scenes and we learn and we share our insecurities. So when something comes to my desk, it's, artistically speaking, has to be valuable for me to see that there is a risk in doing it, that there is some color, something that for whatever reason I haven't tried at that moment, until that moment, or if I tried before, that I see there is a new way to approach it.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
and also that there is no, that I can make gaps in between, so I can visit the family.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, I think the fact that you still go and practice it also has a pretty good impact on the people you're with, because they see, oh, this is a person who by all metrics is doing it like what we aspire to do, but still is treating it like, oh no, I have more to learn. And humbleness is maybe the right word or maybe not, but like the fact that everyone starts not having a choice, everyone takes the work they can get, and then you get to the point where you can go, I'm choosing, and people see that, but you're still working at it, I think is a real like aspirational thing to be like, oh, you can do this and not become high and mighty about it at the same time.
No, and also if you think about, this is a creative expression, and an actor don't have a space or a room or a place to really experiment with his own tools, which is his voice, his body, his thinking, his emotions, his images. We don't have that. We are not like the painter that can spend 10 hours on a studio trying to different colors, or a musician on a studio or whatever. The actors, we need that place, and that's an acting school. Or you can call whatever, or a group of friends that puts plays together. But there must be someone that knows what he's doing and can help you to get to places where you yourself don't know how to get on your own. And that's not easy to find. There are many acting schools in the world, but I've been in some of them, and it's not easy to find the person that really can accompany you there without harming you or down-rating you or abusing of you, or abusing in the sense, abuse is such a strong word today, abusing like like taking advantage of his power among you,
Yeah.
in the sense that you are so vulnerable in that state that it's very easy to take power on people like that. So power in the sense of guiding that person, not in the right way, but in its own benefit. Like, so I can show how good of a coach I am, rather than doing the job.
Okay.
But I need that. I need that as I breathe and eat and drink. I need that space. That's why I go every year.
Right. And people don't always realize, they see whatever their favorite performance of yours or whatever their favorite scene. Like, they don't realize that odds are it wasn't the first crack at it. It was, third, fifth, 20th, 100th time that you did it. And it was being able to be vulnerable with a coach and being able to be like, I'm going to make all my mistakes now. So when I'm on set with Darren Aronofsky or Aaron Sorkin, I can make, whether it's not less mistakes, but I can have an idea of what I'm bringing, and then they can start telling me what they envision.
Absolutely. And on that, the trust in the director is essential, because when you are working on that private space, you can try so many things and fail and feel fine with it, because that's the reason. That's what you're aiming for, to try to expand yourself. When you go to work, you have to deliver. But it's about trusting the director, which most of the times is the editor of the movie, knowing that if you expand yourself, if you try different things, if you cope with mistakes and try to go back and try to take a different route in doing the same scene, try different things. So the scene is alive. It's something that is happening in front of your eyes. It's not something meticulously thought and meticulously done. And so, what's the word? That you can so self-aware.
Yeah.
You do that when you think, or I do that when I think I'm safe. And sometimes, I guess the fear of an actor in movies is like he doesn't feel safe enough to go there and try.
Yeah.
So he does the most common take on that scene or on that role, because he's afraid that if he goes farther, and it will come with flaws, it will come with mistakes. Maybe the editor, the actor, the director, editor is not going to spend the time that is needed to put the pieces together.
Yeah. And I think the thing about what you do so well is these are characters you've never seen before, even if it's, a character that appeared in the book, very right. In what you won your Oscar for, or, a Bond villain. We all kind of know what that is, but we've never seen that character before. Or almost everyone knows Desi Arnaz. Like, that's a very easy, close your eyes, you can envision, but you've never seen him as a person. You've seen him playing Desi. You've seen him as Ricky. Like, you've never seen this. And I think that's what makes this such an interesting character. One, you're so good at what you do that I think anything you do is worth watching. But to see this person who we all kind of have an idea about, but not clearly the idea that is being told, to then give ourselves over to you and be like, oh, I'm just captivated by this man for all of his flaws and successes, is a testament to, I think, what you said, being able to feel safe and to play and to go, I have an idea of what I want to do. Aaron has an idea. We're going to find it together because we both believe in each other.
Absolutely. And that also has to be very well described and very well put together on the script, on the situations, not only the dialogues, which he's a master of, but the situations, the scenes that can really go and deal with many elements at the same time, like life itself it is. There's nothing so black and white. The life is not that simple. So even the scenes can really juggle with 2 to 3 different layers, and that complexity really tells you a lot about the character that you have to play. And it comes a moment where you have to jump into the abyss of knowing that you will never ever be able to capture the really whole essence of anybody, because that will take the whole life, a work of a lifetime to do so. And even though it is very possible that you will fail, but at least you grabbed 2 or 3 personal traits that are very basic in order for us as an audience to understand who that person was and what he represented for others. And that's what you have to kind of do as a detective, trying to find. You have, like in the case of this, you have a lot of videos, a lot of material to look at and listen to, so you are blessed with that. But then there's so much noise, there's so much movement, there's so much things you want to copy, there's so much information that there's a moment that you have to give up and sacrifice the excellence in order to try to portray the truth.
I mean, yeah, and
the truth is your truth.
Yeah,
is the truth that the actors see or think is the truth.
Yeah, and I think it's so interesting to watch you do that, because you've played real people before, but also you have the ability to do something like a mother. This is not a human being that's ever, and human being might be a weird word depending on your interpretation of that movie. Like, that's something you've never seen before. So to play this character where you could go to the text and watch every episode of I Love Lucy and watch every movie, watch every special, every time they went on a talk show, and maybe get like both good habits, but also those bad habits that you would get from this. It's a testament to, I think, like you said, the detective work and the research. Go, how much of him do I want to make sure I'm bringing, and how much of just this being a character that Aaron Sorkin wrote do I want to start playing around with?
Absolutely. For me, everything goes to, first of all, it was a relief when Aaron told us all the 4 principal characters that we play, actors who play characters. Yeah. They told us that I don't want an impersonation, because that's not what I'm looking for. I want you guys to find the person behind the icon. So you go there and you go, okay, I'm going to try to look like him. You're going to try to talk like him. I'm going to try to mimic this, mimic that. But at the end of the day, when I see and when I hear him, what's the thing that grabs me the most? Yeah. That really draw me into him, like unconsciously? That's his essence, his energy. And in this case, I think, and what is written also, because we have to also be aware that we are in service of telling a story that is already written. Yeah. We come with our background, we come with our research and our homework, but it has to be used for what it is, which is the story that is written, not all the other things that I've imagined or I would love to be shown or I dreamed of being able to act. It is what it is. So based on that and what I've researched, what is the thing? And you go, okay, in this case, it is his relentless energy of affection and passion for what he does, and the absolute belief that he is right to really defend his place, his wife's place, the show, and he owns that place with lots of humor and also lots of inclusion. He is a person who includes everyone in the process. He doesn't put everybody aside or push away. It's like, come on, follow me, accompany me, we can do this together, and you are going to see that I was right. But it's not about me, my vanity, which of course he had like everybody else, but it's about making you understand that just because I'm a foreigner or I'm not wrong. Yeah. I know what it is to make a big show. I know what it is to be a great comedian. I know what my wife needs. Just listen to me and accompany us. Yeah. And I think that energy has to be there all the time.
And that's what I think makes that line, if there was such a thing as a Cuban movie star, this would be my husband. Like, it's such a subtle line that gets at, like, this isn't a story about racism or about, like, the way people necessarily felt about him, but just to remind you that even though he was part of the biggest comedy show there and was a huge television star, there was still that, like, well, you know what, you're not. Like, it was always just on everyone's mind. And he, like, you're right, he could have very much been all about the vanity of either, why don't I have that? Or here's what I have, and I'm going to tell you why I have it. Instead, it's the same thing that Lucy was. We got to do this show X amount of times a year, do it perfect, and then do it again next year. That's just the job.
Totally, because it would have been very easy for him to go down to the path of envy, to the path of what they say, second banana, to Lucy, to be always like with a rate of not being recognized as a producer that he was, many things that didn't happen. I mean, yes, he could have a couple of drinks. Yes, he could do that. He could, okay. But the bottom line is that he was a supporter of Lucy, and he was a supporter of the show, and he really wanted everybody to be part of it. He really wanted to be everybody to have the piece of cake, rather than saying, "Hey, look at me, this is me." And that energy as well, it's such a beautiful energy to portray, which is a person who really gives and also wants to own. And he has his moments where he says, "If you try to patronize me, I'm gonna get your fucking lungs." But but he can have that as any other person. But most of the time, he's giving, and really not getting stuck in the drama of it.
Yeah, and you have the added bonus of, obviously the details are very different, but you've acted with your spouse. Like, you're able to be like, none of the details are the same, but I've been on a set looking to my right or my left, right, and seeing that person and knowing like, oh, we were really happy this morning, or she's really pissed at me today, and none of that's going to come out here, but that's that other thing that's working. And I think the movie and you do such a good job of that, of one, the show can't be affected, but also you're still having an interpersonal dynamic. You're always acting with someone you like or you hate or you've never met. Like, everyone is someone to you.
Absolutely. And for him also, I think that at the end of the day, the story is about a love story between these two people that loved each other until the day they die. Yeah. Whether they were together or not, it was their love story, and that has to be also implied in every scene. That chemistry that Nicole and I, Jesus, we magically made it happen, knowing that we didn't have the time to do anything else, because, as I said, we literally met on a Thursday. We rehearsed. It's that we rehearsed. We just sat down and do the most bizarre table reading ever done at the top of the building on an open garage, open parking spot, screaming at each other, the whole team in different tables. It was crazy. And then we danced together for 30 minutes. We rehearsed the rumba, and on Monday we were shooting. It's like, Jesus. And it's true that we relate to each other from Desi and Lucy, as Desi and Lucy. We didn't have the time to say, "Hi, Nicole, hi, it's Javier." It's like, and it happened. And also happened because Aaron Sorkin was there, and we were playing with Aaron Sorkin's material that is so well constructed.
Oh yeah, that is always a bonus. And also just, when you're shooting it, it's maybe the least fun time to be making a movie, when you all have memories of how much fun it can be, but also like, we could be having so much fun while doing this. But also, like you said, there's no time. And the dirty secret is there's never time. You've made movies for several $100 million.
Absolutely.
Everything's big. You're still somehow rushed. You're like, what if we had 3 more days? How did we not have
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know how do we make it, but there hasn't been any movie where the movie started when we were all ready. It's never going to be the case. There's always more time missing, either behind or after.
Oh yeah, you look and you're like, oh, there's Pedro Almodovar. He knows what he's doing. There's Sam Mendes, and it was how would they always look like they're about to have a heart attack? Like,
yeah,
how am I supposed to be calm?
Absolutely, I haven't ever. Maybe Woody Allen would be the first, the one that I've worked with that he really was on time. Like, he was ready. He would shoot from, I think it was from 12 to 4, 12 to 5. That's it, and everything was like very well organized.
And it's like,
it seemed like it's not that we didn't have time. It's like we finished 1 week before on the schedule.
He's like, I have a Knicks game to watch. I'm leaving.
Exactly. I have to play the clarinet.
Exactly. I have things to do. You guys, I'm not sure.
Exactly.
Which is, I imagine, almost as disconcerting. Like, wait, how are we done? Like, wait, I have questions.
Absolutely. Most of the time, it was one take. It is the one take policy with no rehearse. And I have to say that Aaron, I shot 6 weeks, and the movie was 7 weeks and a half. The other week and a half, I wasn't there. I would say good 4 or almost 5 of those 6 weeks, we were doing one take in every scene. But I was jumping on like, hey, Aaron, I'm a foreigner who plays a foreigner. who speaks very good English, way better English than I do. But I'm speaking, I'm playing with your dialogues. It's not easy. Give me one more take. No, I got it. It's like, oh my God. It took me a while. It took me a while, but he perfectly understood. And if we really needed it, he will give us 2 or 3 takes. But yeah.
Now, Aaron, you write fast dialogue, right? And you know it's fast in like Nicole's head, and she's been speaking this language her entire life. I have to like sort of still translate this at the same time. You have to give me a second.
Absolutely. Like, what am I saying?
Yeah, Aaron, direct this in Spanish for a second. See how fast you can do it.
And then you understand.
Yeah. Oh, now I get a second take. I got you. But it's funny. I interviewed him, and he was.
Oh, that was a good one. I should have said that to him.
Yeah. See, you have it. See, next time you're at an award show and something's happening, you go, by the way, you owe me one take.
That's a good one.
But it's a funny thing because he'll talk about having, everyone, rightly thinks of him as like one of the best writers of his generation. Like just whatever spews out of him is genius. But he'll talk about having writer's block and just staring at the screen and going, I've said everything I have to say. I'll never say another thing again. And you obviously believe him because everyone goes through that. Actors go through the same thing. But, you go, oh, and then you just gave me this, which is perfect. Great. Now I have to do it perfect. Oh, boy. Like, you have to give me a second. I think, but again, it speaks to, I think, how good you are at it, that even with the challenges of, wait, we're doing this, we're wearing masks right before we're doing it. Like, we're not getting to know each other. Like, I have to do this fast. We're not getting another take.
Yeah.
And I also have to sort of embody a person while also making this a character, but people still have to remember this is that person. And a certain segment of people are going to be pissed at me no matter what I do because they envision something different. Okay, this sounds easy. Great, let's just do this.
Absolutely, you nail it. I'm always saying that if the audience will have a peek on how we usually do movies, or under what circumstances and under what pressure of time, and especially time, they will have a different idea of what they like and what they don't like, because it's most of the time it's kind of crazy, like to really be able as an actor to breathe, relax the muscles, and be present when everything around you it's frenzy and it's fast and it's like there's not much time to reconciliate the craft, the desire, the wish, the dreams that you've put together into the delivery, because there are not the grounds. The grounds are not there to protect that, but most to push you to deliver and deliver quick. Right. In some other movies, not, but most of the times, yes, it's kind of crazy. And this one, it was kind of in the middle, but it was sometimes that we were going very fast. Yeah. As fast that I would say, where is the fire? Where is the fire? But I guess, well, when you have 7 weeks and 2 more days to shoot a movie like this, you have to go fast. Yeah, we have, I don't know if it was like 169 pages. Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah, you want to turn around and be like, there's like 4 Oscars on this set, guys, And just to sort of wrap up, I think it goes to show like how hard you guys work, that, at the end of the day, it's consumed on a Friday night in a movie theater, and then people go out to dinner afterwards. So like, you could be making this or a Bond film, or like, it's meant to be fun. But then you could also put just as much effort into like a Mother. I know I keep coming back down, but I love that movie, where you're like, I know we're doing something weird. People are going to go think this is like a horror. This is going to be an interesting conversation. It just goes to show, I think, how good you are. And just as a way to wrap, like, this is amazing work. And I think you should be very proud. Like, that's.
Thank you. I thank you very much for that. And also, you were talking about writer's block. Well, you are a writer yourself. You know what that is. That it's, for me, is by far, acting is pretty, director is so long and you have to answer everybody's questions. It's crazy. Acting is what I do and I love it. And there are things that are very difficult to achieve and others that will be impossible to achieve ever. But writing is for me the most precious of this process, because everything's on the page. Yeah. And I can imagine what it is to be, because I'm not a writer, I wish I could write a line, to sit down in front of the computer now or the blank page and say, okay, where do I start from? Where do I start from? And where is the place I'm heading to? That is, for me, like magic. My brother is an actor and a writer. He published his 5th book 2 months ago, and it's going very well. I'm amazed that he can really sit down and say, okay, I'm going to write for the next 8 months every day, whether I have the idea or not, whether I have the muse or not. I go, oh my God, that's so kudos to you guys, writers.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for this. It was funny when Aaron was like, when we saying it as like both of us, when we're struggling with writers, like we're not the same thing, my friend. Like,
well, I mean, I just fucking told you so. So
exactly. You know what? I'll take it. He's good at what he does. You're good at what you do. I'll take it. Thank you. I know you have more of these. Thank you so much for doing this, and congratulations. You deserve every bit of praise.
Thank you. Keep warm. Keep warm.
Fingers crossed.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.